welcome back to my channel. My name is Carly Stevens. I'm the author of the Tanyuan Academy series, and this is English Nerd. So I have decided to start a new series looking at some of my very favorite poems and breaking them down for you guys. So to kick off the first installment here, I wanted to introduce you to John Donne, one of my favorite poets, and his work, Valediction, Forbidding Mourning. So I'm going to mark up a copy. I'm going to tell you all about it, and hopefully you'll get some insight into this poem. Now, this entire series is not meant to do all of the work for you. If you're writing a paper or something, still need to be academically honest, but this should give you some really good insights, at least I certainly hope so. So look forward to a probably monthly installment of my favorite poems. Alright, so here we are with Valediction, Forbidding Mourning. So I'm going to annotate as I go on this nice clean version of the poem. So first thing is, a valediction is a farewell poem, or a formal farewell. It comes from the Latin, if you're at all familiar with that. So going on, as virtuous men pass mildly away and whisper to their souls to go, whilst some of their sad friends do say, the breath goes now, and some say, no. So let us melt and make no noise. So what we have here is our first metaphysical conceit. A metaphysical conceit is just an extended metaphor comparing something physical to something either spiritual or abstract. So in this case, we have the parting of these two individuals, whoever us are. It seems that they're lovers or married or something, to this person who's dying and who's saying that his soul must go. So as virtuous men pass mildly away and whisper to their souls to go. So this is a peaceful passing. We have virtuous men, they're whispering to their souls to go. This is not some sort of painful parting. It's something that makes sense at the end of one's life. Yes, there are some sad friends, and so there's this acknowledgement that there might need, be the desire for mourning, but there's no true reason to be sad because we have this virtuous person who, in the mind of John Donne, would be going to heaven, and so the only thing to possibly be sad about is just the absence of that friend, of course. So as this person passes mildly away and whispers to his soul to go, now his breath goes, now he's dying, no he's not, so let us melt. So it's as though we have the virtuous person and then the soul that's leaving the body. So let us melt and make no noise. Let's have this peaceful passing, this peaceful separation. No tear floods or sigh tempests move. So we have some metaphors here with the floods and the tempests, and we're going to return to the idea of these, these storms and the possibility of those and contrasting those with their relationship in a moment. But they're not metaphysical conceits. They're just kind of basic metaphors there. No tear floods nor sigh tempests move, 'twere profanation of our joys to tell the laity our love. Okay, so we have the word profanation and the word laity. These words are connected in the sense of being spiritual. We have hints of a spiritual kind of meaning here with the person passing away and the soul leaving the body, but here we actually have very religiously loaded language. We have profanation. To profane something is to disgrace something holy, and then the laity is the common person who is not connected to the clergy. So it's saying that their joy is some holy thing that they could profane by telling others about it. And so it's on this higher plane is what he's establishing here than kind of your average relationship or your average couple leaving one another. So moving up here to the next stanza. This one's the toughest one, I think. Moving of the earth brings harms and fears. Men reckon what it did and meant, but trepidation of the spheres, though greater far, is innocent. Okay, so moving of the earth is the third instance that we have of reference to these negative, or what am I trying to say? Negative weather, negative natural disasters. That's what I'm looking for. So moving of the earth, that's an earthquake, even though he says it in a strange way. So we have earthquakes up here, we have tempests down here and floods, all being associated with things that are below them. They shouldn't be moved by these side tempests or these tier floods. And then up here with this earthquake, moving of the earth brings harms and fears. So when you're in an earthquake, it's terrifying, which is true. Men reckon what it did and meant, so they'll kind of wonder what the effects were and why it happened. Is there some sort of greater purpose? But trepidation of the spheres, though greater far, is innocent. So the spheres, he's talking about the planets there. So we have on Earth these earthquakes, but the movement of the planets is far, far greater, and yet it makes less of an immediate impact on everybody's lives here. So he's comparing, once again, his love, his relationship with this person to this kind of greater movement that isn't dramatic outwardly, but is actually has a lot more going on in ways that people can't necessarily notice at first. Kind of like the idea that we're hurtling through space on Earth, but unless somebody kicks you, you really don't feel it. Okay, so that makes a bit more sense, I think, to this next section as well. Dull, sublunary lover's love, whose soul is sense, cannot admit absence, because it doth remove those things which elemented it. Okay, so sublunary. So here, one of the things that Donne does really well is he takes his metaphors and he kind of weaves them together into this sort of tapestry. So we have this idea of death here, we have the associations with natural disasters, we have this holy or spiritual element, and now he's bringing in the planets. So sublunary, lover's love. Sublunary means beneath the moon. Beneath the moon. And there was this belief that things beneath the moon, so, Earth and whatnot, could change. It was subject to the laws of thermodynamics, everything ultimately decaying, but everything above it had this kind of perfection that could not be changed. And so he's already associated his love with the spheres, with the planets, and now he's making that much clearer by saying those people who have this kind of dull sublunary love, this love that can decay, this merely earthly love and nothing above it or beyond it, cannot admit absence because its soul is sense. So it's kind of a word play here. So if you're absence, then you're without sense. And if sense is what your entire relationship is about, what it's based on, the thing that elements it, then you can't actually have that separation, that absence, and still maintain the relationship because you've gotten rid of its very soul by getting rid of the senses. So if it's based on looks and you take away the ability to look at the other person, the relationship can't survive. If it's based on touch, same thing. If you can't touch the person, then your relationship can't survive. But he's saying that this is for dull sublunary lovers, those whose love can decay, whose relationship is merely based on sense rather than this higher thing that he's alluded to in his own relationship. But we, so he's contrasting here, but we, by a love so much refined that ourselves know not what it is, enter assured of the mind, care less, eyes, lips, and hands to miss. So here he's saying that this is refined, going back to the first metaphysical conceit. I would say it's spiritual, right? It's greater / higher than other people's. It's less outwardly dramatic. All these associations with his love have been less outwardly dramatic as well. Less outwardly dramatic, which goes back to the title, forbidding mourning. So they're not supposed to cry about this parting that they're about to undergo. but rather we'll see. Our two souls, therefore, which are one. So there's all this talk of souls. Hopefully you've noticed. We have all this talk of souls. So the soul of sublunary lover's love is just sense. That's lame. Here we have souls right in the first stanza. Whisper to their souls to go. But this is souls in a spiritual sense. This soul is merely earthly, and then here we seem to be going back to that spiritual sense again. Our two souls, therefore, which are one, though I must go, endure not yet a breach, but an expansion, like gold to airy thinness beat. I love this metaphor. It's definitely one of my favorites. I'm just going to start because I love it so much. The idea is that their souls have merged together, and as they get farther apart, it's not that they separate. It's since they're so connected, all they do is expand, like a gold piece of gold turning into gold leaf, just spreading out. It's just such a gorgeous metaphor. If they be two, so he tries out a different conceit here. Here's metaphysical conceit number 2, I would say, because it's the one that's developed the most after this one, most directly, I guess. So I'll say here's another metaphysical conceit, and here's the one that really locked in my love of this poem. If they be two, so they referring back to the souls. If they be two, they are two, so as stiff twin compasses are two. Now, before going on, there are a couple kinds of compasses, right? There's the kind that can tell you north and south, and then there's more of a math compass. What he's referring to here, and we can tell from all the detail coming up, is a math compass, and that makes a difference. So let me get a visual here for the next bit. If they be two, they are two, so as stiff twin compasses are two. Thy soul, the fixed foot, so let's make this the fixed foot, makes no show to move, but doth if the other do. So it kind of leans like that, you see. And though it in the center sit, yet when the other far doth roam, it leans and hearkens after it. Because that's what math compasses do. They lean toward one another as the two ends kind of separate. It leans and hearkens after it and grows erect as that comes home. So as they get close together, then once again they're straight. Such wilt thou be to me, who must, like the other foot, obliquely run. Thy firmness draws my circle just, and makes me end where I begun. So these last 3 stanzas are actually all one big metaphorical conceit about these compasses, the idea that they are connected in this way. Now, this metaphysical conceit works on a few different levels, because we have the connecting point is above the feet. It's at this point that's above everything that's being drawn and happening out here. All the other mentions here of how their love is like the planets, how their love is like something holy, all suggest that there is something higher, something above this normal world that actually connects them. And so this metaphysical conceit, even though it's to something physical, still supports that idea. And so we have also this perfect circle. There's a perfection to it, even down as it's drawing, because the woman, I suppose, is so firm with her love and just steady. So yes, there's obviously more that I could say about this, but hopefully you now understand this poem a little bit better and appreciate it. Maybe it's one of your favorite poems moving forward as well. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that look at Valediction Forbidding Mourning. Don't forget to like this video if you like it. Let me know what your favorite poems are in the comments below, and subscribe for more English nerdy goodness. Alright, I'll see you on Monday. Bye.